We were in Seattle when Mexico was playing,
Hmm.
and they were like showing the game on a barge, like on a big screen
That's
on a
hard.
barge. Like, I think it was on Thursday. The game was supposed
Hmm.
to be Thursday, right? And he
Hmm.
texted me like, "Oh, see you in the game. See you at the game. I'm coming. I got my tickets. Whatever."
Hmm.
I mean, it was literally like, what can we do? Like,
Hmm.
what could we have done? So we went home, and then like, you know,
I watch games here and there, but then what always sticks out is the drama that comes with being in the WNBA or the NBA. And I
yeah.
saw Benijah,
First 24 games of the season, we
not
did
about how you start,
okay.
not about how you
It's not
start.
about how we start, it's about
Yeah.
how we finish. I think that
Anakin and Padme, this is basically where they went to elope, when things said and done. It was like a forbidden wedding and whatnot. And
Right off the top, Stewie drops that the Knicks won the championship, and New York had fireworks going off for a week straight. And honestly, that's a great little reminder of how big that moment actually was, since it barely got mentioned outside basketball circles compared to how the city reacted. Then it pivots straight into World Cup fever, with both hosts genuinely hyped for a Spain-Argentina final. That's a real cultural moment two pro athletes are excited about outside their own sport, and it sets a great tone before the show gets into the heavier stuff.
thing. Congrats to you in Asia. Saw the
hey,
pictures.
appreciate it, man. Went ahead and shut it down. It's been about a year and a half of planning, but everything went perfectly, bro. Like, God was on my side for real. Like the weather was amazing. Like, um, there wasn't a lot of people. I mean, she literally had no idea it was coming, but we could talk about it a little bit later, man. I'll tell you, give you the details.
Miles gets straight into it. Engaged to Asia, a year and a half of planning, everything going perfectly. My take, that's not a small thing to pull off quietly for that long while being a public NBA player, and Stewie immediately zeroing in with, "How long did you have the ring?" is exactly the right instinct. That's the detail every fan actually wants to know, and it sets up a genuinely fun back and forth.
I'm really happy for you guys.
Yeah, for
Can't
sure.
wait for the wedding. Where's
I
it gonna
know, man.
be?
I know. That's, you don't think about that, right? Like I put in so much planning like towards the engagement itself. I didn't think about like the next step. So then like it hit me like 2 days later. So it was like, oh, so we're getting married. I was like, oh shit, we are getting married. Like what? So yeah, we're talking through all that stuff right now, man. We're not gonna rush it, but we're gonna do it the right way.
And the answer is wild. He's had the ring since last summer, but the run to the NBA Finals actually delayed his own proposal plans. That's a great little piece of context. A guy planning one of the biggest moments of his life around his team's championship run, and being completely fine pushing it back because of how far they went. It says a lot about priorities without him having to say it directly.
Man.
Honestly, I feel like we've been missing it all. The Knicks won the championship. We didn't even talk about that. The Knicks won
Yeah.
the championship. New York was crazy. Fireworks for like a week straight. My dog was not happy about it. But we're really happy for the Knicks. The World Cup is happening in New York.
Mhm.
Really excited that it's going to be Spain Argentina final. Have you been watching
Yeah.
that?
Then Stewie gets into the actual travel nightmare. Stuck on the plane, needing extra fuel for a storm, something breaking, getting fixed, then something else breaking. 3 hours in, before anything even moves. My honest reaction, this is exactly the kind of behind-the-scenes grind fans never see. And it's wild that a professional athlete on a chartered flight still deals with this level of chaos in 2026.
Can't
Mhm.
get off the plane, and it gets to like eight, probably 8 o'clock. So we've been on the plane for 5 hours, and
Yeah.
they're like, "Okay, we're not taking this plane anymore. We have a new plane. It's coming from, I think it was coming from Phoenix.
Damn.
That's
It's a
gonna
long ass
land.
flight. Yeah.
That's gonna land. Or they're gonna clean it. They're gonna get the people off, and then we're gonna get on the plane." And we were like, "Okay." So we were thinking we were gonna take off at 9:45. We like because we were like on like a live tarmac, we had to like get off the plane and like walk like they were like walk single file into the next plane. So
And then the actual punchline of the whole saga. After getting a brand new plane flown in from Phoenix, they finally think they're taking off, and there are no pilots left, because the original crew timed out. The plane literally isn't taking off that night. That's not just bad luck. That's a legitimately wild story, and it's the kind of thing that explains exactly why the league ended up rescheduling the entire game to Monday.
So
I
we
know
went.
y'all were tight, boy. Mm,
I mean, it was literally like, what can we do? Like,
mm,
what could we have done? So we went home, and then like, we weren't gonna travel the morning of the game. It's 3 hours to get to Dallas. Like,
right.
it just wouldn't make sense.
Hmm.
So luckily, like the league and our team, we figured out a solution, and we'll play Monday. So it's not like super disruptive to anybody's schedule. We play Monday, so we just flip flopping.
Right. Damn, bro. I
Miles doesn't let that story go uncontested either. He tops it with his own worst travel day in 11 years. A mechanical issue, then an actual smoke smell on the plane, then running low on fuel sitting on a live tarmac for 4 or 5 hours. My take, hearing two different players independently describe genuinely dangerous-sounding plane situations in the same conversation, is a real signal that travel infrastructure for pro sports, especially in-season charters, deserves more scrutiny than it gets.
Yeah, no. I mean,
Mhm.
that's the thing. It's like I think maybe some people don't realize it's like when you're waiting like that, it's kind of like a test like to your mental. Because I'm like,
Mhm.
all right, like like
It's
now
perspective.
I need to plan. Like, all right, I'm gonna get in late. I'm gonna get less sleep. I need to like make sure like this is obviously all of these next 3 games for us are big games before the
Mhm.
break. And um I was proud of my team. Like we just continued to like everybody was chilling. We were all just sitting there like, all right, well, I watched
Is
all
what
my
it is.
shows. Like,
Yeah, man.
um,
That's wild, bro.
but
So,
we got here. We're in Indy now, and I'm here. So come on.
all right, yeah. So you got a little, like you said, it's 3 games. So you're kind of at the push point right now. But honestly, that's a good little gear switch.
Now here's the moment fans have actually been talking about. A shoe flying through the air in the fourth quarter and hitting Marina Mayberry after JJ's shoe came off mid-play. Stewie's take is clear. It wasn't intentional. It was a chaotic in-game accident, not a thrown projectile with intent. That's an important distinction, and it's worth taking her first-hand account seriously instead of just running with whatever clip goes viral without that context.
I think that it just comes to the job being the league. But on a higher note, All Stars coming around. No break for you. You got your for the 8th time, 6th consecutive starter. Congratulations on making it. Just tell the people like I guess what it means to be such a consummate and consistent starter because that's something that's not easy to do. At the highest level.
Yeah, I mean, I think first of all, I would like to say thank you to the fans because fan voting is majority of what gets All Star starting, and
Yeah.
really happy and honored to always continue to be representing the league. And
And Miles makes a sharp media literacy point right after. If you're not actually watching the game and you just see that moment online, of course it reads as pure chaos. That's exactly the kind of clip that gets clicks regardless of context. That's a fair, honest read on how 1BA moments get amplified out of proportion once they leave the arena, and it's worth keeping in mind before piling on any single clip without the full picture.
No, that's facts. Well, WNBA is pretty interesting this year. I look at it like y'all look like the Eastern Conference in the NBA. Everything is so kind of jumbled up right now. You only got the top 8 teams are only separated by like 6 games. Like, why is the league so tight this year? What do you think is like contributing to that?
I think that the like the margin for error is really small. I think that especially as we've had expansion, right? So
Yeah.
you added team 13, 14, 15 over the past 2 seasons, and like that talent is spreading out, which means um
On a genuinely good note, Stewie's earning her 8th All-Star selection and 6th straight as a starter, and she immediately credits the fans, since fan voting decides the starters. That's a real deserved honor for one of the most consistent players in the league, and crediting the voting base directly instead of just taking the accolade is a small thing that says a lot about how she handles success.
like what is happening right
Slow
now?
motion. Oh my God, bro. That's hilarious. I think that, again, like if you're not watching the game and you just see that like online and whatnot, like WNBA gets what it wants, right? That's a whole bunch of clicks. That's a whole bunch of like,
Yeah.
um, crazy shit. But I don't know, man. But again,
The parody conversation here is genuinely the smartest basketball talk in the whole episode. With 3 expansion teams added over 2 seasons, the talent pool is spreading out league-wide, and it's showing up as nobody blowing anybody out on a nightly basis. That's a real data-backed explanation for why the standings are this jumbled, and it's a much better answer than just, the league got more competitive, without any reasoning behind it.
Do it.
Absolutely, man. And again, you said the league's competitive this year, and that obviously that's great, just for, from a viewership standpoint. But, you got a great rookie class, and the CBA's brought in a lot more, CBA, the money that CBA able to get for that's brought in great foreign players. But you touched on it. That's one thing us as NBA players don't really have to go through are the little mini seasons. You know what I mean? You guys have such mental lock-ins you have to do. You go out, you go and play in the World Cup, or you have these little breaks, but then you have to come back from that. No matter how good the World Cup goes, you got to come back from that, into the last stretch of the season, then switch your mindset again for the playoffs. So I just think that is something that's very underrated. People don't get to necessarily, experience, if you will, from a fan perspective.
Yeah, it'll be really interesting. I think that people should I know people will, right? Take a snapshot of the standings by All-Star break, and then take a snapshot of the standings by World Cup break, and then let's see how the playoffs go. You know what I mean? The standings going into the playoffs, because I think it'll be changing almost on a nightly basis.
Over on the NBA side, the LeBron conversation is the year's biggest storyline, and Miles' read is smart. LeBron's confirmed he's not going back to the Lakers, and there's real frustration in how the league has handled recent legend exits, drawing the Carmelo Anthony comparison directly. My take: for a player in the conversation for greatest of all time, that criticism about how farewell tours get handled is fair and worth taking seriously, regardless of where he actually lands.
His apron and whatnot, it's interesting how you're able to make stuff, come together. So I really don't know. Another thing people talk about is Golden State, obviously. He's still going to stay out there in California, still go out with Steph and them and whatnot. But I think he's coming back to the East, no matter what. I just think that that's kind of inevitable at this point.
Maybe he's going to come to the Nets.
To the Nets, the Brooklyn Nets. You think LeBron James going to the Brooklyn Nets?
I don't know, because, listen, really close for me. I'll be able to appreciate his greatness, live and in the flesh. So maybe. Come on.
Everybody can dream, at this point.
What is
right?
that? Never say never. Come on.
Yeah,
never say never.
It's like me saying, he could potentially come to Milwaukee at this point, even if he does hit all the hotels in the city of Milwaukee.
And to close it out, Miles walks through the actual proposal moment, getting down on one knee, fumbling the ring onto the wrong finger at first, the whole scene coming together perfectly with the weather and the setting. That small human mistake right in the middle of a meticulously planned, once-in-a-lifetime moment is honestly the most relatable part of the entire story, and it's exactly the kind of detail that makes this hit different than just another athlete engagement announcement.
It's something that you guys will both remember forever. But
Yes.
like I said before, really, really happy for you. I think that when you find your person, you don't want to let them go. And you knew Asia was your one. And excited to see what continues to come from the both of you. And I'll be waiting for my wedding invitation in the mail.
You already know, bro. You already know.
We just do a live podcast at the wedding.
At the wedding reception? Hell no. They gotta be.
Go on. Everything you said is gonna be cut.
That's great. Oh man, bro. I'm glad to be back, man. For real. I was able to enjoy it at a time, but I was looking forward to kind of getting back and just get back to the pod, rapping, and it's gonna be a good rest of the off season, the rest of the season for you, man. So yeah, we're back at it.
Yeah, we're back.
Thanks for checking us out, y'all. Please rate, review, and subscribe to Game Recognized Game. See y'all next time.